And here we go. All right, folks, got a good one for you here tonight. We are going to do the haunted strategy, and I got Haunted and Johnny. Oh, and looks like Bowles too on a call here. And we're going to have some fun and try and do Excel math real time while I build a crystal ball for the haunted strategy. All right.
You're gonna be rich, boy.
You gonna be rich, boy. All right. So, wow, this is a big Excel file. All right. So, okay. So I see we've got under the A column, it's listed as X. Then we start with price under the B column. So what's the deal with the X first?
Okay, the first column, just how many X's the pulse is going to do over time.
Okay. All right. So Pulse, but this was modeled after Hex's price chart or Ethereum's?
No price chart. It's just the X's. So nothing that goes up or down. It's just buying on the top.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So there's no up, no down movement. So if it goes down, you simply just go and buy pulse.
Okay. So
you wait until the collateral's up or down 6%.
How did you pick the X's? So $1, 110, 121, 133. Because it looks, is it a 10% compound?
Yeah, it's a 10%. Every time the price moves up 10%, that's when you buy pulse.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how'd you get your starting price, Haunted?
Oh, it's just a guess.
Yeah.
3017. I think that's what's on the Excel sheet now.
Oh, yeah. That's a really.
You can edit that to whatever you think.
Okay, yeah, because that's a really low price, I think, because that's like day 1 sacrifice price, not day 30 sacrifice price. So
yeah, that's gonna be a different price. Yeah, no one knows that. It's unknown. So
no, like that's where I have my speculation between 1/10 of a cent to 2.5 tenths of a cent. But all right,
yeah.
So the general plan is every 10% increase in price and that's when you're going to buy or when you're going to take out the loan or both. Like, are you going to take out the loan and wait for a dip and buy?
Yeah,
both at the same time. Okay.
Yeah, you can wait for a pullback, but the pullbacks are unknown unless you run a simulation yourself.
Yeah.
That's a different story. Yeah.
Well, so the thought I've given to the pullbacks, because like the only negativity I've heard with this strategy, and I'm like, I don't think you're trying to work it like this, is if the haunted strategy alone was buying up the price of Pulse, the market corrections that are traditionally like 85% would be even larger.
Yeah.
Because all that pressure has come from you and people can just take your money and run. So there could be a larger than 90% market correction, which is where I've given some thought that as long as some time, like as long as the buy pressure wasn't put on, that's where I want to look at how much buy pressure this generates, which it itself doesn't generate enough to cause the 10% increases in price, right? Like that still has to come from outside factor.
That's what we want to work out. Would it be enough? If you work out how what the liquidity pools are like, would it be enough to push up the price 10% on its own?
See, that's where if it was doing it on its own, I think it would be a very dangerous strategy where you could expect a market correction of over 90% from the push you're putting into the market.
Yeah, correct.
Now,
but we are speculating that people will learn the dip as well. So at a 50% dip, people start buying it up and then doing the strategy from there. So it's a double strategy, but on my Excel sheet, I can't really work out I'm not that good with Excel. If there was a 50% dip, people start doing the strategy, say there was half the amount I'm hoping that the same amount of people, if not more, loan the dip over loaning the top.
Yeah.
Because it's much safer. And then when they get to all-time high, they stop and wait for the next 50% dip.
Yeah, see, that's where I've given some thought where, like, instead of buying, like, you could take the loan at the 10% increases and hold all those loans. So almost like cost averaging loans. You keep taking the loans out
Yes.
and not spending them while you're in the uptrend, and then wait until you're past the 50% correction down during a downtrend to start buying it as it's coming down, and it will act
Yes.
more like a cushion to slow down the market corrections and give a better landing point to take off from if it was run in that direction.
Yeah. Yeah, that's,
Okay.
you know what, no one's really done loan and dip strategy, so we might as well have, and you've got the liquidity pools there and whatnot, and that'll probably be a good indication. So yeah, let's run with that.
Yeah, because if you take the loan at the top, like every 10% increase, and then buy at the top, you're not getting very much coin with your purchase. You're putting more money into the liquidity pool that can be taken out.
Correct.
But if you wait till everyone's sold out and you start doing your buying during the market corrections, you'll get a much bigger share that way. And
Yes.
yeah,
I don't know if you're able to do this. Are you able to do, say, 50% of the loan went to buying Pulse at the top, and then you left 50% to buy the dip at a 50% correction? Are you able to do that, or is that too complicated?
oh, you mean like use half the loan at the top and half the loan at the bottom?
Correct.
Um,
So you only use half the loan at the top,
so
and then
all
you wait for that correction, and they'll be sitting in your stability pool, for example, and then you start buying Pulse at 50% down, and every 10% move, you use 10% of the bag or something like that.
All right, so we could work out a more high-end way to apply this strategy, but the point is that in itself, its goal is not to single-handedly raise the price of Pulse. It's to hopefully just give like a 10% boost to its power. That's
Correct.
kind of the idea.
Yes.
So now I thought of some simple ways to show the math. Instead of keeping track of where all the tokens are at all times, let's see here. This sheet is already sectioned off. I was hoping for some blank sheet to work with. Do you know in Excel, can you remember how to link one sheet with another? Like when you cell reference, you can cell reference a cell on a separate sheet.
Hold command and then just click on the sheet 2 on the cell that you want to reference to.
Okay, so something like that. So
I think that works, yeah.
All right, so I should be able to add a sheet to this document because I had some
From
thoughts.
the bottom, you should just hit plus, the little plus sign.
Yeah, because I had some thoughts about how to break down and illustrate the market pressure a lot simpler on the liquidity pool.
Yeah.
So, so this is the interesting thoughts on the matter. So, there was approximately 1.4 million, or was it 14 million ETH when you did your poll? What was locked in the dexes?
I know the Pulse. There would be roughly about 1.6 trillion.
Yeah.
Pulse.
Yeah. So 1.6 trillion divided by 1.4 million. Okay. All right. So I had done some math. So like here's my thinking is if I figure out the exact Ethereum liquidity pool at what it's at right now.
Yeah.
Then once I figured out the Ethereum liquidity pool what it's at right now, I can backtrack the Ethereum liquidity pool. What was its starting price? 30 cents?
30 cents, correct.
Okay, so if I backtrack the liquidity pool to 30 cents after I've built it, that'll tell me the minimum amount of economic pressure, aka the minimum amount of value or money, depending on what it's paired with, that went into building Ethereum's price. So how much money people threw into the Ethereum network against Ethereum.
Yeah.
If I then figure out that number, I then can figure out Pulse Chain's liquidity pool size, then throw that number in to be like, well, there's the same economic pressure over 6 years to this. Then what we look at is your actual buy force, what your buy pressure can simulate over 2 years, or yeah, that's all your strategy is built out for, isn't it? Or how far is it built out?
Yeah.
2 years. So we can look at the price of Ethereum 2 years in, figure out that economic pressure, add it to the liquidity pool of Pulse, then figure out your buy pressure, because we'll estimate a certain number of people participating in a certain value, and we'll see how much additional economic force it provides to that. And then it doesn't matter when those buys are happening. I'm pretty sure we're going to show that you're not going to even generate 10% of the financial value in 10 years that was applied from the outside market. And that is why you won't single-handedly be upping the price, and we'll be able to give a distribution of roughly how much value your strategy can add to the network. And then we can talk about the proper timing of the network, or proper timing of the buys, to increase the value and strength of the position of the people that have participated in the haunted strategy. So that's why I think taking loans at the tops and then holding them till we're past the 50% correction, and like just holding the full loan will give the most value to the haunted strategy. And then at the same time, so I can figure out some economic force this way. So looking at your sheet, let's see. So looking at your sheet, oopsie doodle. Let's see here. You've got somewhere in here total loans. So your total loans is the total buy pressure that you can add to the economic system, right?
Yeah.
So now this is looking at one person buying takes a $3,000 loan, right? Or is this the whole group?
Yeah, so that's one person taking out the loan. If you go further along, it tells you, I think at the top, the one I sent you had 1,000 people. It tells you what it is times 1,000. That's it.
Okay.
So how much? So what's the buy pressure there?
Okay, so that's easy. Now at the bottom, you don't have because each one of these is a separate loan. The first loan's $3,000, then the next loan's $630, then the next one $432. Then they start going up, right?
Yes.
Okay, so what we need basically at the bottom of the loan column is an auto sum. And then with that number, that tells me the 2-year pressure. I can figure out the 2-year economic force on Ethereum, add the two together, and then we can scale yours depending on how many people participate in the haunted strategy.
Yeah.
And
so the column that says total loan, that's the total of combined loan from that point up.
Oh, so it's already here in the next row.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So loan is the loan that you're taking out now, at that price point, and total loan right next to it is the total loan in that's that person. Or if I was doing the strategy, my total loan at, for example, what is it, 10x, roughly around a 10x, is 45,000.
One person,
for example.
One person at the end of this has $174 billion of loans.
Yes, but this is not 2 years. This is I just extended that. The thing is, I don't know what the price in 2 years will be.
Oh,
I just have no clue.
Okay.
You can just take it. You can go at a 10,000x if you want, or choose 1,000x if you want.
I see. So
yeah.
All right.
I don't go by dates. I've only gone by tops.
Okay. So we could assume it would get to like about $1 maybe in 2 years.
Yeah.
That feels like a safe one to go. And then total loan is 52 million. Oh, that's so much better. All right, good. See, now that as a weighted one person, so we have a way there to look and say, so I mean, the rough economic pressure or value that's gone into the Uniswaps against Ethereum is something like $4 billion. So until you cross, $40 million. So $52 million would be roughly 1% of the economic pressure. So just 10 people should be able to simulate roughly 10% of the economic pressure using the haunted strategy. And
so what would happen if 1,000 people were doing it?
See, that's where that gets scary. Where okay, so you get 1,000 people doing it, right? No, the way it gets scary
Yeah,
is you're turning the market into an atom bomb, like the housing bubble. So,
yeah.
but more
It's
of an
like the short squeeze,
yeah, more
but
of a
without the big guys selling.
yeah,
These
like
guys won't sell just the arbitrage or
well, that's
other.
yeah. So that's where like I mean, if you start inflating the price that much, where you're accounting for half of the market's buy pressure, but it's against the loans, which means over a 90% correction sucks. So think about it this way, you're in with 40,000 other people, and many of them even bigger whales. Now, none of them
Yeah,
have the incentive to sell their pulse, but if it spikes too high and they're sure there's going to be a market correction, they'll sell on a top and buy on the dip and take the
yeah,
swing trade. And like, so you get 10 people working in this, and yeah, you've got 10% of the market pressure. You get 100 people working this strategy, you account half the market buy pressure. At this point, 100 people are now competing against 39,900 other people that aren't participating in this strategy and want to take profits. And so if you
yes,
can trigger a profit take that is more than 90%, then yeah, you blow up your position, you unstabilize liquid loans and anyone else that's been taking loans
yeah.
safely. Like,
That's why we incentivize learning the dip. That's why I've always said it's more important to learn the dip, to buy back or to take back those people who are selling.
yeah,
Remove
well,
those, because once they sell, they no longer have that anymore.
that's
Even if
where
they sell a portion of that bag, and that's why I want to run the 50% strategy
okay, well
or a
we can do this.
40% even.
All right, we can do this more high end, but I'm really of the mindset that taking the loans 100% at the top and then buying the asset back 100% of the
Yes,
time below the 50% debt is the best strategy. But we can work out the math both ways. The problem at this point is that I have to get to work. So we do need to actually schedule, like I'll do some math with Ethereum liquidity pools so I have some base numbers, and then I'll try and build something out so we can look at where the market corrections were at in Ethereum in the first bit. So we'll use Ethereum as the base model, and then we'll break it down the two different ways in more detail. But for right now, this gives me some more information I'm excited about, and this is enough of a video, as far as I'm concerned, to be like, all right, guys, this is the math that's going to come at you. We're going to show exactly what the Honda strategy does for the pulse price, and we're going to use Ethereum as well.
especially learning the dip. Yeah, just concentrate on learning the dip.
Yeah,
you know that I know that it's more important. It's a safer play.
yeah.
Learning the dip, taking those people who have sold to never be sold again and pushing up the price.
Yeah, exactly. Once the sellers are out grabbing up their stash, then they're not there to crap on you afterwards. Yeah, it's safer than pushing the price. So this actually may be a strategy where, like, yeah, that too many people could be ominous. So we'll have to look at the value and see what it could do to market corrections. It should be really interesting, but
yeah.
All right, at least now I have an idea where to work with. So, like, each person, if we're aiming for about it, like, I'll figure out what the Ethereum price scale was after 2 years, how much market pressure went in. Then I'll figure out what that does to the pulse price. Then I can come on this chart to look at the total loan to see what the value added from each individual is, and we can scale this. It'll be pretty cool to show.
Yeah.
All right, I can crystal ball this for sure. All right, thanks for walking me through the sheet. For right now, I'm going to get to work and release this as a teaser video for high-end liquidity math coming for Pulse Chain and for Haunted Strategy. Hoorah!
Done.
All right.
Thanks, buddy.
So what am I going to be?
You're going to be a rich boy.
Oh, I love
Richer
hearing
than
that.
you think.
I love hearing that. All right. Thank you so much for the chat. I'm going to head off to work. And folks, thanks for tuning in. Now you know what to expect next video.